Today, we're going to be talking all about the football dictionary and the language that you guys use in football.
Language that's used in football that can also be used in the bedroom.
Come inside! Yeah. Come inside!
Slip me in.
I know 2 minutes later you're going to try and smash me, so it's not.
And then when you see him doing like an Instagram story to Saka, he's like, Sack's my guy. This is a mad thing.
I think he's a quiet lad around the training ground.
Is he?
Himself.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's just being more himself. Like, see, that's taking time out of his day to go and practice these celebrations. I remember he was a Fulham striker. I don't know if he still plays, but he would just like start talking to me. He's like, "Oh, have you got PS3?"
My name's not even Andre, mate. He's like, what?
And you're like, that didn't just come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So I fried him at me, and he's like, "The only reason you're still on this, like some of the players were in tears in the change room. Like, what position do you play?" Said I play a false six.
But he is also a which we can say comfortably. So. There's that.
You might want him on the podcast.
But it
I do not want him on the pod.
Today's episode is sponsored by Black Falcon. I'm currently wearing one of their hoodies, and I must say it feels lovely. They don't just do hoodies, they have a range of streetwear and casual wear items, tops, jogging bottoms, jackets, all sorts. Make sure you check them out at www.blackfalcon.co.uk, or you can click the link in our description. Use code BALLTALK10 to get yourself 10% off at checkout.
This episode is sponsored by tornsports.com, and I've got a lovely pair of sliders here, every footballer's dream. What else do they do, Lewis?
They do grip socks, all heights. So,
Nice.
you know, they've got the ankle ones. And they actually do, I don't know, you know, the footballer's trend these days is where they have the little cut in the back of their match day socks.
Yeah.
So they do them as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they do plenty of different socks and obviously sliders. So.
That's sick. Yeah, these sliders are very nice. If you want to grab yourself anything, head over to tornsports.com and get yourself something nice. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Ball Talk with me, Noah. And as always, I'm here with footballers Lewis and Ken. This is one of our insight episodes where we find out everything about the footballing world from these two right here. Today, we're going to be talking all about the football dictionary and the language that you guys use in football, as there's not really anything quite like it, is there?
Yeah, it is a bit mad, isn't it? I just think with football, like there's any other work environment, you wouldn't, like no other work environment talks like that unless it's a sport environment.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
you are right.
Like,
yeah.
what work environment do you get bollocked like every weekend by your manager? Like with all of you just sitting there
At lunchtime, at half time.
Yeah.
lunchtime, half time. Like, I mean, I just think it's a bit
you
mad.
take some personal abuse from managers. That imagine if like your corporate manager tried to, I don't know, call you a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, not
Your sales have been fucking shit this week.
like, it wouldn't work.
It is mad. There's a thing as well of like the abuse that fans give them.
Yeah.
Again, you wouldn't
Yeah.
go into your sales job after not hitting your quota and people in the train going, "You're shit, mate, you can't sell."
Yeah, and then you've got the pundits going like,
As you're in the lift, you hear it over.
yeah, you're being filmed during all your sales calls, and it's like, he used the wrong word there.
Yeah, I'm just stuttering on
Yeah.
that.
I just want to go over one thing I see on social media.
Okay.
Okay, and it was language that's used in football that can also be used in the bedroom.
Okay.
And I started thinking about it, and almost every football saying is just a bit like sus.
Yes.
Like I'm talking, I mean, just try and think of something now, but like stick it in the box. Stick it in the box. Like
That is crazy. Yeah, what other profession or activity could you say that?
But look, there's literally every saying in football does it is like this. Get a touch on it.
Wait, who's saying that in the bedroom though? Or you get a touch on it?
But they're just a bit like,
Yeah.
not necessarily the bedroom, they're just a bit sus.
Lewis hasn't taken these from football, he's taken them from his bedroom.
I actually just recorded last night and then listened to it back. Squeeze them in.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that one.
He don't want it.
He might not.
I'll go through a few more. If you've got any, you can chip in.
Touch tight?
Touch tight.
I don't know how you would use that, but
Come inside.
I mean, we don't need to elaborate on that one, do we?
He shot early.
Yeah, but what makes it better
a
is
great
thinking
one.
about shouting them. Come inside! Come inside!
Slip me
Wow.
You're not shouting out on the football pitch, though, are you?
You're just like, right,
Yeah, you would.
As a striker.
That's Ken.
before-
Slip me in. Ken's asked many a bloke to do that. You got the obvious one. Hold it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's it. I like that one.
I like this one. This is used mainly from a commentator, I'd say. He's spraying it everywhere.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
See if you can think. I want you to think of one each.
Right, give us the scenario. You might say it in both.
Okay. Scenario, I might say this one in. Well, this is a player.
Yep.
And then a player also answering back. Spread it. I'm open.
Now we're getting into conversation.
The conversations on the pitch are like mirroring the bedroom.
Yeah, that is very true.
That's mad.
There's a few others, but we can leave it there.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Give us some more in the comments.
Yeah,
Of course, we'd like to know.
We can go on to foreign players now. Okay. So we're talking all about language communication, foreign players, and how they communicate. I don't know if you've ever played with any foreign players, Ken.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't speak English. But I always found
That's really interesting.
the first word a foreign player would learn is like fuck, shit, pass.
It's probably the three most
That's all you
used
need.
words in football, isn't it?
Like that, and I just think like that's so English that they're the three first words.
Yeah, what will I need to know?
If you've got those three, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like,
can also put fuck in the last segment, by the way.
Yeah.
The most obvious one.
like what else do you need to know? Or like what other word would you need to know as a player? If you're a foreign player.
What would you...
I mean, to play the game, you not really much. I'd say it's more for like managers' tactics and team talks that you might need to understand the game.
I like the question you just posed, that you need to know the word shit as a foreign player.
Because you need to tell them you're pissed off. I tell you what, there was one player who joined Palace at under 18, and he was foreign. And when he first come in, he was actually a year above me. So when I first went in, I thought he obviously don't speak great English. And then I started to work out he started to speak a bit more. And whenever people would ask him to do like, because he was quite a high profile at the time, whenever people ask him to do like interviews or go do something, he'd be like, no, I don't speak English. Like that's what he'd say.
No way.
Yeah, like, and he'd just bob it off. And then when he's on the pitch, he'd be like, slide me in, I'm on free kicks, I'm taking pens.
It's crazy.
And all of a sudden his English is perfect.
That's actually genius.
Yeah, it's clever.
I like that a
I
lot.
reckon a lot of players do that.
Well, I think he'd done me with it a few times.
Yeah.
Like, probably just couldn't be asked to talk to me at the start.
Yeah,
I know I speak English.
You're right,
yeah.
mate.
And he's asked me to slide him in on the pitch.
And in the change room.
Okay, do you ever talk to your opponents during the match?
I'll have the odd discussion. It depends. Like I know a lot of players that are a lot more talkative with their opponents.
Are we talking like, how's your weekend? It's cold,
Nah,
isn't it?
like
Sunny,
I know
innit,
players that do that. Like I've played against defenders that try and do that. I don't really entertain that because I know 2 minutes later you're gonna try and smash me. So it's not.
That's
really,
another one.
Yeah, like,
He's
Gonna keep going.
gonna smash me.
yeah. So I'm not really.
Should I get the list back at now?
That wasn't on the list. But yeah, no. Players talk to each other on the pitch.
Like, do you have a conversation with the centre half ever, or do you ever try and put him off?
Sometimes I'll have a conversation about something that's going on. Like, let's say the ref made a terrible decision. I might laugh about.
Yeah.
Like let's say the ref's given us a foul. It was never a foul. He's like obviously screaming at the ref, and I'm maybe laughing with him saying, yeah, it was never a foul.
Getting on his good side.
Yeah.
I like it.
But that's more of a like, yeah, trying to get in his head kind of.
Do you hear more conversations of like normal conversations, like nice, or trash talk?
More nice than trash talk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, trash talk isn't that common.
Trash
Like,
talk,
obviously, if
it
something
can build throughout the game.
Yeah, it can build throughout the game. I don't know many players that go out of their way on the pitch to trash talk out of context. Like just, yeah, I'm on the pitch today and I'm trash talking.
That was me.
Like
lot of
after
the
an
time.
event, it might like
Yeah,
somebody
tackle or
he keeps
something.
studying you or something. But
Yeah.
I've also had conversations where like one of their team is just like being a prick on the pitch, basically, like just mouthy, something like that, and I'll be like I'll speak to the centre mid I'm playing against, like, what the fuck's up with your teammate? And he's like, no, mate, don't worry, he's a prick.
Really?
There's so many of that goes on. Or even I remember when I was like coming through the academy, some people would. Like, I remember he was a Fulham striker. I don't know if he still plays, but he would just like start talking to me. He's like, oh, have you got PS3 or PlayStation 3?
What?
And he started talking to me like generally just like say, oh, we should hop on and stuff like that. I'm thinking,
Did it throw you off a bit?
it didn't. I actually, to be fair, I just had a normal conversation back, but I actually think that goes on a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But then I'm thinking, are you trying to do that to put me off?
Or is he just a nice bloke?
Or is he just nice and don't really, yeah.
You'd do it in another place of work, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Saw an opposing salesman, you'd say, all right, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. You probably. You are against each other, though, aren't you?
I used to do both. So I'd be friendly. This is Sunday League, not any standard. As soon as they missed a shot, oh my God. Yeah. All day, lads, we'll take that. Give him the ball, let him shoot. I was relentless. I was an arsehole. Got to the point where one game, this guy could not score. And he was like a centre mid and I was centre mid. He kept on taking long shots. They were horrible. And I just laughed and went, lads, we could do this all day. Yeah. And he ran up to me. He was so annoyed by this point. And he went, all day, is it? All day, lads. And I was like, I've won. Like, I've won now. Because you've done that thinking it would get me. But
you're in his head.
I'm in his head.
Yeah, the one thing I'd do sometimes to strikers, like as a centre-half, I used to like taking it around them. And then they'd get frustrated with me and I'll be like, as I go past, I'll be like, keep trying, mate. Or something like that.
Mid-game?
Yeah, no, because that's the only stuff, the little stuff where you don't show anger and it's just like, unlucky, mate.
Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Just going back onto the foreign players. I want to, talking about how foreign players communicate, I find it so funny how some of them really pick up the, English accent.
Oh, mate,
really
it's
well.
my favourite thing.
One that springs to mind is Bellerin.
Yeah.
His was a bizarre, mix, wasn't it?
He obviously came in quite young, so it... 16ish, so
but it was like a
really
Cockney, but then it was
like to win this game, innit? It was weird, isn't it? They all choose like a bit.
The one that kills me now is Haaland picking up the Manchester accent. Like some of the words he says, it's so he's obviously got his Norwegian accent. Then he'll just say a one-off word. I can't remember.
Because he's been there a while.
Yeah. There was he was having a conversation. It was when he was like the Louvre.
Oh, the Louvre,
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My two favourites. There's a clip on TikTok. Go find it. It's quality when foreign players go roadman, and there's two that stick out to me. Alexander Isak is doing like a YouTube video, and he says to someone, "I saw him outside on the roads in training," and it's so like London. It's crazy. And the best one,
he's living in Newcastle,
but it only comes out in
and he's Swedish.
It comes out in two, 3 words of a massive paragraph.
Yeah. And then did you see Onana for Belgium? He was doing like loads of interviews, and someone went, Andre, and he spoke in fluent French, and he goes, "My name's not even Andre, mate." He's like, what?
And you're like, that didn't just come out of your mouth.
Yeah. That's my favourite. That is my favourite. I love it.
I remember you spoke about the Declan Rice doing how he would speak. What was it? Different to camera than he would to his mates.
Interviews.
There's a thing. I did a TikTok and it went quite viral of how he speaks to certain players. Yeah. And how he speaks to other players, right? And when he does an interview, he talks normally like, "Yeah, we should have done better there." And then when you see him doing like an Instagram story to Saka, he's like, "Sack's my guy. This is a mad thing. This sauce is crazy." Like he did it about his Nando's sauce. It's so good because we obviously overinflate it.
Yeah.
But there is but do you not do that?
That Nando's sauce thing was jokes.
It was mad thing,
that everyone does that, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Like you adapt to your environment.
Yeah, you speak to your nan differently than you speak to your mates, don't you?
Yeah. And even in football, I'll speak to like the foreign lads different to how I'll speak to the lads who are like local to me or something like that.
Put on a
have you seen the opposite,
accent?
by the way? Do you remember I remember Sancho done an interview in Germany, and the way he was speaking was so weird. It was like he was trying to speak English in a German accent.
We can get onto that.
I've seen a few players do that. It makes no sense.
But you know what's weird about it? I do it when I go abroad.
What? Try and speak.
Yeah.
You get sucked into.
Went to Indonesia and they all speak like English. It's obviously broken, but fair play to them completely. But they'll say like, instead of "Is this okay?" they'll say "Is okay?"
Yeah.
With just like an inflection. So I'm in the taxi, like this restaurant is okay. And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay."
Yeah.
Like, you do it.
Yeah.
Like,
You ready to order?
yeah. On beer.
I just said that in an accent there. I didn't even take out any words. That didn't even make any sense.
I like it though.
But it's true though. Even like you do just start changing what you're saying.
100% you do. I think it comes from like your influence, doesn't it? I listened to, when I was younger, I've got older siblings, so I listened to a lot of rap music. So I don't speak how like some of my mates speak to certain people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll go on to what you touched on a bit. So why do 99% of footballers answer interviews in the same like boring way? Because I don't even need to tell you a question, and you could probably say to me what they're going to say right now. Like you could give us 15 seconds of a player's interview, what they're going to say about a game.
Well, they say if we won, we could have tried harder. Like the play, it's like from a playbook, isn't it?
Yeah,
like PR merchants, aren't they?
It's like, yeah, the team obviously tried well. We weren't happy with our performance, but we'll go again next week.
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 It is PR though, isn't it?
But like,
a lot of it is trained, but then also a lot of it is like,
is it worth me even being honest?
Yes, it's like none of them want to be there. It's not like, let's say their mates after the game call them and say how the game went.
Yeah.
Their conversation there would be very different to the media conversation. I think they're just very aware that that's a 5-minute job. Let me just answer these questions, not risk saying anything that I shouldn't. Because there's an element of risk. Let's say you lost the game, emotions are high.
But I think people get it now. Like, they get people are going to, if you speak from like you might say something.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. It's controversial, and it's good because, like, I know players like James Maddison come and just talk freely, and people like it. But you run the risk because you can just say one thing that out of emotion, that's the truth, but will make headlines, and you don't really want to. You don't want to be headlines after, like, for what you've said rather than your performances. So the safest thing to do is to just answer from a playbook.
And also, they'll have someone before they go into, into the press conference with a clipboard saying, don't mention this, say this to avoid it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is basically a script.
Sometimes they'll tell you the questions and then they'll add the interviewer will like chuck in, they chuck in one that's not meant to. You can't just say, like, mid-interview.
That's not what we planned.
Yeah, that's not what we've rehearsed.
Do you know who has the most boring but also most entertaining?
I know what you're going to say.
Elise.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, you can go boring.
His aren't PR.
He's gone the complete other way and just like not getting the headlines for saying nothing.
Yeah. What one was it? Someone
said, like, through that goal.
Yeah.
I shifted, shot and scored.
Yeah.
Touch, goal.
Yeah.
What did you think of the performance? Yeah, it was good.
It must be so hard for the interview.
Yeah.
Like, I don't normally side with them. But
I rate it.
I love it.
I also like stuff like that because, again, I think he's a quiet lad around the training ground.
Is he?
Himself.
Right.
So he's just being more himself.
Yeah.
Like, I think you mentioned James Maddison. He really comes across well, and I think fans play it, like, everyone buys it, likes that. So I think he is
just being himself as well.
Like, you should really try and you can still be wary and still be yourself. Like, you shouldn't just say the standard boring answers.
Yeah.
How would you be in an interview?
Ask me a question. Come on, let's do it.
You can ask me a question, but I've got to have a scenario.
What do you think of the last 10 minutes of this podcast?
I think it was good. I really enjoyed the sus moments because it made me laugh, and I think the next 10 minutes is going to be even better.
So stay tuned. Basically yourself.
Yeah,
Ken.
I weren't expecting that question though.
Ken, how was your journey in today?
It's a long journey, mate. Yeah, a lot of traffic.
We've got Elise over here. You got a bit of Elise about you.
Yeah, because do you want me to give you a whole description of
that's the thing.
Who I sat next to on the train? And
where if I've just had a passionate, energetic football match, I'll give a bit more.
I was just about to say, would your, like, the way you answer questions be different if you won and lost? Or would you just be
forget won and lost, probably just how on your mood. So that obviously win and loss comes into it, how you play, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Will come into it. How would you answer it?
I don't know, because I've not been PR trained like you two.
I wouldn't say I've been massively PR trained.
Yeah, mine's once a week loosely for like a year and a half.
I think mine would be quite normal. Maybe a bit less PR.
Yeah.
Because I just say what I actually would want to say. Because I've never done any that you can't say.
But I think you do that once and then something will happen and then you'll be like, right, club's on you now.
It's difficult because, like, just imagine you've lost and, like, how do you actually say what you want to say without being in trouble?
Yeah,
like what you would have said in the change room.
It is a skill. Some players do it really well.
Yeah, some players do it. Like, let's say in the change room, everyone might have had it out and, like, someone lost their man at a corner or like we had a couple of chances, strikers didn't bury them, whatever. You're not coming out in the media and now saying, okay, how do you think the game went today? And you're like, well, a striker missed 5 chances.
Yeah, you're
should have
right.
been 3 up at half time. Like, you can't say that.
He let us down. Yeah. You
have to be very careful the way you say it.
Remember when I was like 18 playing, I'd go back home, my mum would go, how was it? I'd go, it's terrible because Lewis made this terrible decision.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's the truth. But you can't
be
say
dominating and then keepers just fucked up.
Yeah. Your mum's like, all right.
Yeah. You can't say that
on his own. Like,
Havertz ain't going to go, listen, we dominated the game, but Raya's fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'd love it if they did.
So you literally just have to resort to, okay, the general answers, you're not digging anyone out, you're not risking headlines. it's the safest.
So we could have done better. We didn't play our best. We go again next week.
I mean, regardless of what question you ask, we're coming again next week is always going to be said.
But the thing is, it's not a lie.
How's your injury? We're going to go again next week.
It's not a lie though.
No,
like, it's actually real. It's just real, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter what happened, you go in Monday.
I tell you what, that should be the motto of this podcast. The slogan. We're going again next week.
Whatever happens, we're going again next week.
What, 10 views or 1 million views?
We go again next week. We get taken off the platform. We go again next week. We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
Make it.
Well, let's talk about managers now. We spoke about players. Talk about managers. Do you think managers need to be and are like sort of inspirational characters who can articulate words and, you know, almost poet-like in the change room, especially to like build up? You know, people have this very like fairy tale thing about a manager where, you know, you're 2-0 down at half time in a cup final and they come in, they give you some, you know, motivational speech and then you go out and win 3-2. But from my experience, it's actually the complete opposite of that. I've never had a manager come in and give a motivational speech.
Really?
Like, not during a match, no.
That's mad.
Never.
That means you have.
Yeah, loads.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I did it at Sunday League.
I actually think, especially if you do it before a match, I think it has the reverse effect. I generally found that like.
But
for example, so you remember Barcelona's final against one of their Champions League finals against Man United?
Yes.
They had a similar thing where it weren't a speech, but before the game, they got showed a 5-minute clip of all their highlights, big tackles, great play, goals leading up to the final. And they went out and like some of the players were in tears in the change room, like just before they go out because they're so like well enough.
So too emotional.
Gerrard said Brendan Rodgers used to do this.
Yeah.
And like read out letters or something from their family members and like.
But
there was a game or something where he actually got too emotional.
But
like he didn't start well or something like that.
The Barcelona players, like Iniesta, Xavi, come out and said it was the worst 10 minutes we've ever played. That first 10 minutes, and then once they sort of then once they sort of forget about the emotion and just play football.
It's funny though because like when England get into Euros final. Before that game, an hour before, I'm watching compilations of like John Stones smashing people, and I'm ready to go. But if I was about to go on a pitch, I'd get red carded.
I think a manager has to be very skilled at his team talks. I think there's a time and a place for motivate. Like when I found motivational team talks before a game to work best is probably for the games that are harder to get up for. Naturally, you're playing a 46 game season, like your big games against your local rivals or when there's a big crowd, etc. You're up for that. You don't need a manager to sit there and tell you like this is a big game. Like you just know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Maybe you go away on a Tuesday night to a random team, pitch ain't great, there's not much of a crowd, etc. Like that. Those are the games when a really good manager will be able to give you nothing crazy, but like 2-3 minutes where he gets every player basically up for that game.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that's a game that players might not have been up for and could end up. Those are the games you slip up in. You see all the time at every level, Prem games. The games where you're just supposed to go and win.
Yeah.
You're human. You're not always up for those games.
Okay.
But I still don't think an inspirational speech will be like. It's more like making them aware that this is a real game still.
So did you watch the Arsenal All or Nothing documentary?
Yeah.
When Arteta made the cameraman, was it the cameraman or the kit man, do the speech?
Yeah.
Are you watching that like?
No, see, look, I don't know.
That was sick. That was for a North London derby.
What I'm saying is that would make me get up for it. But I don't think that will get the best out of me.
Okay.
For me, it's like, right, Lewis.
Really
Right, Lewis. When this happens, you need to get on the ball and do this, like, and just
precise.
Right, info. Ken, you just when Noah's got the ball, you look for this.
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. Look for this, you will not get it.
It's going off the pitch.
But stuff like that is
That's
just
interesting.
And from my experience, I've had the motivational stuff and the sort of telling offs and the inspirational in the training ground sometimes, and then less on the during the matches.
What are you making of Arteta's light bulb and heart drawing? Is that inspirational?
I mean, it's inspirational
because he's not like.
But it's just not going to make me play better.
For it, is it not?
I don't know, man. It'll probably just make me clamp someone in the first 2 minutes. And then I'll be like, right, level head, and it sort of merges in
It's
together.
interesting because Arteta plays thinks about it clearly, and we've seen some unique examples.
Yeah, definitely.
We've even heard stuff which may or may not be true, but you hear stuff that gets said about different methods he uses, like even how when they trained. Do you remember they trained with the
I don't agree with that.
Music
I don't agree with that, man.
And
that's fucking crazy.
I think it's weird.
But you have to be weird to change like push boundaries basically.
You have to do stuff that the average person thinks, what the hell's that? But like
before the City game, he was playing like Brazilian samba music.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I quite like that because I think it's quite fun.
I mean,
but
you've got like that end of it, whereas Pep Arteta can be quite funky, can be inspirational, can be like a bit of everything. And then you've got the other end, which you don't see as much, where I'm thinking of two people, Neil Warnock.
Yep.
That amazing clip where he's like,
where they're contrasting him with Pep, is it?
No, I'm just talking about where he's talking to the players in the change room. I can't exactly remember what he's saying.
Oh my word, yes.
You're gonna fucking die for 3 points.
Yeah. He's really kicking off, isn't he?
And then the other one, I can't remember his name, but he's basically like sacked someone in the at half time, and he's like, he said something like, and if any of you got any problem with that, we can have a proper right go.
Oh,
and bring your fucking dinner, because by the time I'm finished, you're gonna need it. Like,
so would you? So right.
I'm just mad that it's two different.
That's what I'm saying. So
things.
you've got I'm going to give you 3 options. You've got Neil Warnock, angry, old school.
Yeah.
You've got Arteta doing weird inspiration stuff. You've got David Moyes, who I imagine is probably quite monotonous and calm.
Yeah.
What one do you want?
I reckon he's quite fiery as well.
I imagine he's quite boring.
I'd probably want Arteta just because I think he's got the best technical detail.
Yeah, in terms
of speeches, though, I'm saying like inspirational.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. And
mid-game.
Thing is, they only on that All or Nothing, they only showed you the inspirational stuff of the team talk.
It's to make that film, isn't it?
That would look like that like type of talk, and then it would tell you technical detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course they're not showing you that because people wouldn't.
So I prefer Arteta.
Yeah.
I don't like to get. I've been bollocked once massively. It was actually the last game I played.
Have you?
We lost 5-0 to QPR.
Oh, that's bad.
It was like an in-house. It was like an in-house game, I think. But it was like half first team, half 23 against QPR. We lost 5-0, and coming at half time, like 4-0 down.
How were you playing?
No, I wasn't playing well.
Okay.
But again, I've got excuses. It's years ago now, but I couldn't run properly.
Of course.
But I weren't playing well, and he's basically coming at half time, screamed at all of us, and then he's pointed me and the other centre mid out. Started grabbing
Were you playing centre mid then?
Yeah. Started grabbing the tactic chips off the board. Started firing them at me, and he's like, the only reason you're still on this fucking pitch is because I'm not allowed to take the first team players off.
Oh my.
No, because I've got to take the first team players off or something.
Oh wow. Is that your head's gone then?
My head was gone once we conceded 3 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But
jeez.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't like, although I was playing shit, I know I'm playing shit. Stuff like that won't get me up for even more.
You don't need to be hounded.
That's why it's moving out from the game. Like you know if you're not playing well. Like I think if you've done something drastically wrong, then maybe you need to be told. But even then, I'd argue, like if you're solely at fault for a goal, let's say you're a centre back and you've tried to chop a striker and lost it, and he's gone and scored. Like I mean, the manager can bollock you, but your teammates probably bollocked you on the pitch.
I was about to say that. If you're in that position, your teammate's going to go.
It's moving away from it's moving out of the game slowly and for right reason. Like players understand when they've gone wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't think it necessarily gets the best response out of a player. I think you want to give him confidence especially if you're going to keep using him. If you're getting him out of the club, then you can tell him whatever. But if it's half time and you need him to go out there and perform, the last thing you need to do is bring him down.
So we do think overall that managers do need to have be a very good way with words in terms of inspirational, motivational.
Yeah.
And articulate themselves well, partnered with the obviously technical side and tactic side.
Would it be mixing the sus language and angry managers? Would it be tough to not laugh if Warnock was going, go deep, get inside, come inside for him, smash him?
You wouldn't say all of that in one go.
This bloke is spraying it everywhere. No, but I don't know. I mean, Ange just come to mind, and all the players say how motivational he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, has it worked? Has it worked? That's because I think it's also his accent.
What a stupid fucking question, mate.
But they speak really highly of how they can really get him up for games.
Yeah.
But does that make him go too much there and not thinking about? I don't know, man. It's a tricky one to navigate.
It is. So you might like to be you might like a manager before a big game where you're already hyped to be quite level-headed.
Just very instructional and still strong and firm, but not trying to
You don't need to interstellar.
I don't want like think of your families, your kids.
I think that's the problem because that might get you too emotional.
Yeah.
I don't mind a manager getting you up for it and reminding you what's at stake here, and like getting you like
if you play well in this game, like you'll be remembered, like it'll go down in Arsenal history, stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But not like bringing everything else into it.
Like
that's fair.
The rest of it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Right, we'll go on to similar to what you spoke about with Sancho. Yeah. Right, but managers doing the language in a foreign accent. We spoke about it, but there's two that come to mind. Joey Barton.
Yeah.
Joey Barton, like,
did he do that?
He was like,
oh my god,
he done the worst one ever.
So good.
He was like talking, obviously in English, but who was he managing?
Was it Marseille or something?
Marseille,
like
yeah.
that?
And he was just doing like a foreign like the French accent, but with English words.
His first, he was going, well, we obviously need to win the game, but
they wouldn't understand. They wouldn't understand his accent.
He was just talking like Henry would talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but probably even worse.
Yeah, but he is also a wanker, which we can say comfortably. So there's that.
You might want him on the podcast.
But
I do not want him on the podcast.
It does. Why do they do that though? Like, can we break that down? Why do they actually do that? Because you're still speaking English. French people will not understand you.
They probably think like,
I'm trying.
It's like when you speak with your mates quickly and whatnot, like. You know, like your mates understand you, so you expect them to like know, but like they probably feel as though they have to almost break it down and speak slower. But then instead of just speaking slower,
they put the accent on.
Put an accent on, thinking that might make it even easier.
I would understand like a Scouse or a Geordie, like dumbing down their accent.
I think they have to, otherwise.
But not putting on a French accent.
No, putting on a French accent. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
We need to play better.
It was bizarre, wasn't it? Yeah.
I cannot believe this, but you are going to sign this player.
It was just watching. Like, what are you doing?
And you know you're just going to ruin for it.
But
bro, just learn French.
Maybe he's doing it on purpose.
Just learn French.
No, he might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been doing it on purpose.
Okay. I'm keen to get your thoughts on this because with pundits, right? We'll go off the managers. Do you find, or do you think pundits overcomplicate a very simple like situation or analysis they're talking about just to obviously sound more technical, more knowledgeable? And because they have to speak about it. That's their job.
1,000,000%. I think it's slightly different, but Carragher on the overlap this week, right, or week just gone, was talking about how Arteta wants to keep the young boys in their place. He's got to be the boss. That's why he's making Nwaneri change elsewhere to not get changed with the change room because he's academy. He's got to be put in his place. No, he's 17. It's the law. Like I think they just say things sometimes to make it seem like I know because I was a footballer that Arteta is thinking.
Yeah,
he's not.
I think those people, Carragher, Neville, etc., they're becoming very dislikable because just, like it's gone way too far to the point. I don't listen to them. Not that they'd care. I don't listen to them, but I just don't because once you got to a point where I can just sense that everything you're saying is just disingenuous and biased to fit an agenda, an anti-Arsenal agenda, or like it becomes like, okay, why would I listen to you? Like you see someone like Roy Keane, he's got strong opinions. Some and controversial opinions, but I get the impression from him that he's very consistent and he holds everyone to a pretty high standard, and therefore you don't ever sense that like he's a Man United through and through. Like,
but he would say the same.
But he'd say the same about his own players, about Arsenal players, about City players, about like he holds everyone to the same standard,
and definitely doesn't over technical things, does he?
Yeah. He's just very
on a level.
Like, but these guys are just getting out of hand. Like saying like. That's clearly you're just trying to find something to dig at Arteta for when you could just see the fact that he's underage.
But I also think it's making like I'm going to say this because it seems like I know what's going on in the manager's head. Like,
and people who are outside of it, never been in that world, could be very easily influenced, thinking all managers think the same, all players think the same.
If you didn't know when you were 17, you might go like, "Oh yeah, Arteta is keeping him in his place."
Or you didn't know that was a rule that they had to change separately.
Yeah,
because a lot of people didn't know that.
But it's like even with like stopping a cross or something like that, Jamie Carragher would just go into like so much detail of like what he should have done or just where
he just loves the sound of his voice. If he was that good, he'd be a manager. Anyone can sit in front of a TV.
He's like, what's happened here is he's looking over there when the ball's been played, and then the ball's been played, and then he's taken 2 steps too far over. When realistically, mate, it was just too high.
And he starts so many sentences with, I think. I think he's done this because he's thinking about. It's not about what you think. Do you know what I mean? It's about what's happened in front of you.
Yeah, they've got to a point now they're analysing celebrations. Like they've done a whole analysis of.
That tells me.
Yeah.
His head's not in the right place.
Yeah, they had a whole
Arrogance.
analysis of set. Like, when have we ever done that?
Yeah. And then they said, what about Neil Maupay? And Scholes went, yeah, he just takes piss though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, explain that.
And he's like, then they'll be on the talking in the celebrations, and they'll be like, see, that's taking time out of his day to go and practice these celebrations.
All that comes to mind is Sol Campbell, and I see that.
Yes, of
So
course.
kind.
We know what it is.
What?
Is it a colour thing?
Oh, right.
Yeah, Neil Maupay, fantastic. Haaland, fantastic.
Yeah.
Skelly, not having it.
No, what annoys me though is them. It's gone off topic here, but them guys that were asking the question, they're like what influencers and stuff. Like, they've got their own
like content
thing.
creators, yeah.
They've got such a loud voice, and a lot of what they say is correct on their own content.
Yeah.
But they've gone there and they've absolutely bottled it in front of Scholes,
100%.
Neville, and Carragher. And I understand. It's just all these YouTubers and that have their own.
There was an
platforms.
Arsenal guy. I can't remember his name, but he's a very good content creator. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But Carragher was saying like, Isak would never go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Why would he go to Arsenal over Liverpool? And instead of saying like, well, Arsenal's quite an exciting prospect, we come second, the guy was like, well, I see what you said. Do you know what I mean?
Because they're used to the camera and them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's no one to sort of, other than online, to give it
Kinda
back.
like
And
they're
Scholes saying Isak would go to bigger and better, and then mentioning Man United in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Come on, man.
And then
like,
they're face to face with these ex-Premier League.
Yes,
see on
and
TV,
their
and
influence.
their bottle goes.
And that's what like annoys me about them is because they're taking advantage of their influence to just make these outlandish statements that are just not true.
And they probably don't believe.
That they probably don't believe, but because they know that no one's really going to give it back to them.
That is why, like, going on this question, do pundits overdo a simple situation to make it sound more technical, more knowledgeable? I would rather listen to a content creator, right?
It's getting to that point.
Because they're not doing that. Like, I'm not doing videos to my phone going, oh, Havertz's body shape when he was taking this shot was. Do you know what I mean? I'm
That's
saying,
why people say stuff they may not believe, because it's what people want to. It's more outrageous.
100%.
Similar to the football interviews we're talking
And
about.
I really think the
that's what
pundits are starting to do that now, and that's not what you
Clickbait.
watch them for.
Yeah.
Like, you watch,
Like
you
when
might watch your
the
you might
CBS lot are good.
Yeah, you might
'Cause they're
watch
taking
like
the
your
piss.
content creators for clickbait because it's funny. Or whatever. But when I switch on Sky Sports after a 4:30 game on a Sunday, I don't want to hear Carragher saying things that are clickbait.
No.
Yeah.
To rile up Arsenal fans.
you want
knowing
technical
that it's gonna
analysis,
get-
don't
it's-
you?
No, I want you to just analyse the game how it should be, and leave all the other like fan opinions and stuff out of it.
Use
Like,
your area
I
of
want a
expertise.
footballer's point of view, not on opposition opinions. I'll get that online.
Now it's sounding a lot like they're just content creators and we're watching.
100%.
Because it'll drive the numbers up.
It's driving the numbers up for sure, but it's removed the sort of. I don't look at them as like footballing experts anymore. I'm just like, okay, these are Liverpool United fans.
They're trying to
rile
appeal
us
to
up.
like a bigger audience rather than the niche of football fans.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's why I like watching Thierry.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And Roy Keane going, baby.
Roy Keane
And Michael Richards doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
All of these guys are just very like just neutral and calm and talk, and it's fun to listen to. But I think Carragher and Neville are
Neville one is his Gary Neville podcast, not the overlap. He like, and he's very like, just says stuff that he knows is gonna be out. Like if he has an opinion, he'll just enlarge it 10 times and then say it.
Yeah.
What I like about like the CBS is you go there for entertainment, right? What I used to like about Sky Sports, you go there for knowledge.
Yeah. But
Sky Sports is now trying to like toe the line of.
But it's not entertainment. It's now just
gas.
It's trolling.
Yeah.
It used like you see CBS is pure entertainment. It's funny. You watch it, laugh. Like Carragher's a completely different guy on there to what he is on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
So
massively.
which one are you? Which one is you?
Yeah.
Are you acting up on CBS to try and be funny with Henry and Carragher?
Yeah.
And Michael Richards, or are you? Is that really you?
Exactly.
And then if that's really you, why are you coming on Sky Sports and just being annoying?
Yeah. It's true.
I agree. Yeah.
Right, we'll finish off. We'll go off the pundits. They've taken a beating.
Yeah.
We'll finish off with our football positions and formations becoming like too over the top now. Because
so interesting.
it used to be left back, centre back, right back, centre mid, winger, striker. Now with the false nines started coming into it.
Inverted
fullbacks coming into it.
Yeah.
I spoke to someone the other day. I said, "What position do you play?" He said, "I play a false 6."
No way.
What's a false 6?
That's exactly why I asked.
There's no like. Okay.
What is a full six?
So did he play at any like good level, or was this
No, he plays non-league.
right? So he's calling himself something.
Semi-pro he plays.
Yeah, nah.
And
I'm not having
so,
full 6.
Supposedly a full
What does
6.
that mean?
I mean, I've been in a professional football environment for 15, 16 years, and I didn't know what a full 6 was.
What does
He said it's when you have the ball and you're playing out, you're a centre back, And so when you're playing out, you go as a centre mid. When you have the ball, you have possession, you're a centre mid. But when they have the ball, you drop back into the centre back.
Bro, that's you. You're full 6.
It's like similar to what Stones does sometimes.
Yeah.
But Stones plays that as a 6.
Yeah,
full.
So he's basically like a 3 at the back when they've got the ball and a 4 at the back when they haven't got it.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous to bring that into semi-pro. Do you know how good Stones is on the ball to do that?
And also, why call it a full 6? Just you're playing centre back and centre mid.
Yeah, it's not a full. It's not a false anything. A false 9 is because you're playing up front, but you're not actually playing it to the strikers.
Yeah,
you're not.
He's not staying up at the top of the pitch.
Yeah, but you are technically a striker. There, you're just playing 2 positions.
We're gonna start getting like 10 positions for each actual position.
No one's calling that a full 6.
It's also getting a bit like FIFA as well, though. Like CDM was never a thing, and now people are saying like Rice is CDM. Do you know what I mean?
But that got normalised massively.
But that's what I mean. So I think it can go even further. You're going to get like inverted left attacking fullback.
Yes.
And inverted left defending fullback.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so
we're going to have 25 players on the pitch.
To answer the question, at the top, no, I don't think it's gone too far. I think it's that.
Yeah.
A lot of we're talking about pioneers earlier and stuff. The managers are taking the game to another level, and each year it's getting better and better. And obviously, over a 15-year span, you're gonna get into a position where some of the tactics now were never even considered 15 years ago. I think that's normal for a game that's evolving. I think if you go lower down the pyramid, you might get managers who see stuff from the Prem guys and just kind of want to copy and replicate, or also try and be pioneers instead of understanding that the level of it's just not there. Like you can't really pioneer non-league. Like
managers try and stand out by saying, "Oh yeah, I'm playing a free." Whatever, like some crazy formation that no one's ever said before.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm a bit different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they'll try and stand out because they think they're doing something. They think they're special.
Yeah. I think the lower you go down, the more the game has to be simplified. Like the game's evolving, so like the Premier League now is better than it probably was 20 years ago. I mean, you can have arguments about individuals and stuff like that, but the level is better now than it was. But the Premier League 20 years ago is still better than, let's say, the National League now. So you can't try and take the National League now and bring it past what the Premier League was 20 years ago. Like the players aren't like there's no Bergkamps in the National League. There's none of these players. So yes, we've pushed the Premier League to a new level because the players are getting better, the managers getting better. But I think the lower down, you still need to be simple. Like you can't be talking about full 6s in non-league. Like, well, that's not even in the Premier League.
It's not even a thing.
Yeah, so
like, that's what I'm talking about. The language is getting a bit too. Some people just calm down.
That's
mate.
so funny.
Is it midfielder just a midfielder?
No, I think you've got.
You've got loads of types.
I'd have like a holding mid, box to box, a 10.
Yeah.
But you can call that. You can call a box to box an 8. Like
I heard shadow striker for the first time at the start of the season. Yeah,
it's a fucking bench, isn't it?
Yeah, is that not what you are?
Or a centre back. That's the person who shadows a striker.
Apparently, the shadow striker was playing like between a number 10 and a false 9.
There isn't anything between
that's
there.
What I mean. That's what I mean.
That is literally been
a false 9 is the between a striker and a 10, really.
Exactly.
If you're going like
but then why are we?
It's just going down in increments, isn't it? Like it's going to be a shadow 10 or a false 10, which will be just behind a 10.
I still think if someone asks you what position you play, you have to be able to say something that applies to any system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like saying you're a full 6, that's clearly.
I'd say centre mid or centre back.
Yeah, you're playing in a team where the manager plays this.
Yeah.
But let's say you just move from that. Where are you playing? Are you playing a centre back or are you playing centre mid? Or can you play both?
Like you'd say a striker, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But
But if you ask someone like what positions you play and they say I'm an inverted fullback, would you be like, you're a dick?
I'd be wanker.
Yeah, you're a fullback, and in your current system, your manager asks you to invert, and that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's not a position. That's just a way of playing the position.
Yeah, I get that.
You can't get in centre mid. You got shifted out to fullback, and now they want an extra centre mid.
Yeah, it's like you're asking a player, like a striker saying, like they're asking his position. He says, "I'm a target man."
Yeah.
No,
you would never say that.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're a striker. You're centre forward. Simple. Yeah. You wouldn't say it. No, my role is to be a target man.
I'm a build-up player.
Yeah.
But where?
Yeah.
When did it go from? Because we do numbers a lot now, don't we? Like 6, 8, 10. When did it go from centre mid to 8? Like, when was that changeover? Because when I was a kid, I was not.
It happened very recently. I mean, it's always been a thing.
I think in academies you get it. I got it a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So, like, generally, it's happened very recently. From an academy perspective, I heard these terms as a kid. Like,
really? Because when I was 18, I was a holding
10.
mid, not a 6.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I would have not known what a 6 was.
Yeah, as soon pretty much. I mean, a little bit when it was 7-a-side at Palace, I did. But as soon as it goes 9, 11, like it's always it's the only way you speak.
Right. Okay.
But
got you.
I always used to be number 4 as the holding midfielder for me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
and then like as it got to under 18s, it's more of like a European thing that they say
Right,
6.
Europeans say 6.
It sort of come over here, sort of as I was getting to full time, and then it was like half and half. But for me, it's 5 and a 6 are centre halves. But really, you can people shuffle, like some people even say 5 as the holding midfield. Busquets.
Yes, I was number 14 playing holding midfield.
That's Henri.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
was false Henri.
What position would you say Henri is? He could be the false winger, striker, attacking goal scorer.
And he was just trying to have a simple combo. He'd just say he's a striker,
or even a forward, like
or forward as a general sense. Yes,
yes,
that's the other phrase.
Yeah.
But like, then if you want to dissect it, he was someone that didn't play your traditional striker role. He drifted wide left a lot, drifted it deeper a lot, but it's not.
But it was start in the attacking phase. I'm a 10, but in the defending phase, I'm an 8.
But when the ball is at my feet, I'm the playmaker. Yeah. Well, we'll finish off. Last little thing we'll finish off with.
Yeah.
Okay. No, what position do you play?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. So no.
I know where this is going.
Oh no.
I'm going to say, if your teammate's got the ball, tell me how you're going to speak to them. Give me a phrase that you might say during a match as a number 6.
As a number 6, I would say I was shouting, so I'd be man on, go
Sexual.
left back.
Go left back, that's not quite sexual.
I think like, no.
I'm trying to see if any of them can just be applied to it, but
Yeah, what would I say?
just don't even think about the innuendo bits, just say what you'd actually say.
I'd say you got a bit of time on your right shoulder. So
on your right shoulder.
I'm not that sexy when I play. It was what we
Got
got
a bit of time, yeah. Ken, what would you say as a striker?
If what, like
just during the game, what are some of the words you
Ken
say?
was like, give it to me.
You obviously communicate with your team.
Find me. We spoke about slip me.
Give it to me.
Slip me in. Press.
I mean,
press.
Press harder. Press harder.
That's the people behind me.
Box him in.
Box them in. Yeah, squeeze them in.
Go deep.
Cut it back.
Yeah.
So Ken's more sexual than me, is what we're getting here. You?
I mean, I suppose as a centre mid or centre back, which one do you want?
I want
Squeeze.
centre back. I want centre back. Squeeze.
Get up.
It's just when you think about shouting it.
Centre back's probably got to be the worst.
10 lads.
They're talking the most. I'm not actually talking that much.
Get tight. Touch tight.
Touch tight. Squeeze him.
Yeah. On his touch.
Come.
Yeah, it's mad. Right, we'll leave it there. We spoke about the innuendos enough. And we'll be back next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. for another Insight episode.